Alright, wait for it. Roy Lopez on the board by Hikaru Nakamura, playing Arjun Erigaisi. Titled Tuesday, played today, 13th of January. Everything's normal, and then we get the Thunderbolt. Queen F6. I have never seen this move in like 19 years analysing chess, millions of years playing chess. I mean, I'm not that old, 34. But when you look at the number of games in the database and then see how often this is played, it's played in 0.04% of games. So rare and yet so tricky. Hikaru plays c3 in response here. It's online chess, blitz chess. He wants to fight back in the centre. Standard idea. Look at this for one of the points of Queen f6. Pawn g5. Andreas starts spinning the beats. I mean, who doesn't want to play this? Who doesn't want to have some attacking fun on the fourth move? Hikaru goes h3, although he should have played d4 immediately, fought back in the centre, and h5's the best move, best follow-up. We're roughly back to a level game. What more could you want in a Roy Lopez? This is ridiculous, so much fun. I even had a look in Lotus Chess, which I used to practice my openings, just hit my 72-day streak, to check if you could play this there and practice it. And yes, you can. You find the Roy Lopez course, then you make the move Queen f6, and from there you start learning the lines, and that's the power of Lotus Chess. You learn it in this gamified, fun way, using the spaced repetition so it sticks the moves in your head. I now have an idea of the themes instantly within 6 minutes. A lot of it's connected with the bishop c5 stuff. This knight's then usually on e7. Obviously, there's the pawn push ideas, but you don't have to. You could castle, depending on what white does. It's a fascinating opening. Hikaru makes a mistake already. Should play this. Let's quickly show you the idea. g4, takes, this kind of thing. You hit a bishop. White could defend. Something like this. Okay, game goes on, right? How can this be bad for black? It's not too bad at all. Obviously, there's ways for white to get advantage, but it's not obvious here. And just watch how the game goes. Hikaru's 3,400 on Chess.com, and he's now -1. A pawn down on move 6 against Arjun. Could you ask for more from the opening? He cracks on with the g-pawn here. It looks like you can do this and take the rooks off, but no. Black doesn't have to take back straight away. You can flick in this one because you're going to take the queen if white keeps munching. So this would be the top line. Black emerges a piece ahead. So let's run back. We didn't see takes. We saw the absolute stinker. Knight g1. I mean, that is horrible. Let me just back up to another screen here. Make sure this is running. I think it is. Yep. Apologies, back to the game. Knight g7, as I was talking about. Now pawn d3. Now in the lines I was looking at, the bishop usually streams out, but Arjun shows us another idea. He punches through the center with this pawn push here. Best is really taking, knight takes, and then quickly try and rotate a knight round to e4, but Hikaru doesn't do it. He plays another terrible move. Pawn h4. Now he wants to deal with the tension here, of course. Maybe one day get the knight into the game, of course, if the queen moves. But watch what unfolds here. Bishop e6, bishop a4. I mean, this is such irresponsible chess. You've got to get your bits out. You can't be moving the same pieces twice, thrice, however many times in the opening. Now we see castles queenside, and Hikaru decides to take. That move looks so weird when you've just retreated. I think I can guess the idea, but let's have a look in a minute. Black's got a choice of how to take. Arjun plays pawn takes, the most aggressive move. Of course it is. It's Arjun. He wants to keep this knight looking at the center. Maybe support f5 one day. Knight d2 now. Bishop h6 developing, connecting those rooks here, and knight b3. And possibly this is why Hikaru moved the bishop from a4. You know, it was starting to get a bit out on a limb. Plus you've shattered the structure, or you would have distracted the knight. Let's carry on with the game. Bishop takes, rook takes, and queen h6. Bit of pressure on the rook, so the knight can't move, as it would love to do. And also freeing the way for the f-pawn to run. Rook c2 from Hikaru. Really dodgy looking chess. The knight's still here, the king's in the centre. Pawn takes very natural, opening the file for the rook. And after bishop takes on b3, why would you give that nice piece? It was sitting strong there. We don't get pawn recaptures. I was about to say pawn recaptures, but we get a check first. King b8, a takes b3. Now we get queen d6. And this is why this one was eliminated. It just simplifies the position and clears the way for the queen to swing laterally. You couldn't do it with the bishop on e6. Now you're not threatening just check, but mate. So Hikaru's got to deal with that. He could do it via queen e2, but he goes queen a1. You know, he's still dreaming of knight e2, get castled, but there's so many rude awakenings here. Queen d3. You're hitting the rook and you're hitting the pawn. It's now -4, even though the material's level, I think, although about to go a pawn down for white. How can you not play this opening? Use Lotus Chess in the description, practice there, go and play it in the Blitz games. Only 79 games in the whole database have used this idea. I mean, it's a secret weapon, I tell you. Your friends will be looking at you like, what did he just play? So much venom. If you play this to cover the center, then the problem is the knight can't develop. I mean, it's just got no squares. And if the knight can't develop, the rook can't develop. And the king's perpetually unsafe. So we don't need to start showing lines. It's simply a case of the pieces, one way or another, come flowing into the attack. Knight g6, f5, all sorts. So this was played instead. It does mean the pawn drops with check. Hikaru should go king f1, but again, it's just so miserable, everything you do. So he tries knight e2, sacking a pawn, which Arjun takes. Don't sack an entire rook, that ain't gonna cut it. Queen e4 re-centralizes, very powerful, Black Widow spider. I've always loved the centralized queen, just the power it exerts in every direction. And king f1 desperately played, breaking the pin, preparing to spin round. Knight g6 hits a pawn, prepares a push, looks at this square. It's monstrous. We get one of the best moves ever featured in the Star Wars series, and it's r2d2. That didn't make much sense, but you probably see where I'm going with it. Knight takes pawn. Is that 2 pawns ahead now for black? Maybe 3 pawns? I lose count. 3, I think. This queen is now hit. She slides to f4. The e-pawn could run. Rook c2 back. Going for a desperate exchange. Bro thinks he's Magnus, but knight f3. And Arjun's like, look, take the queens off the board. So what? I'm recapturing with the pawn. I'm now hitting your knight and your rook at the same time, as well as having these monstrous space invaders running down the board. So we saw this. Such desperate chess. h4, of course. Knight e2 hits the queen, and Arjun voluntarily takes them off. Queen e4 was also good. Keep twisting the knife, but this is clean because now you can play rook d2, and Hikaru actually resigns in disgust. What's he to do here? Let's say you go knight g1 to challenge this guy. Look at the kind of squeeze that black can put on. I mean, white basically doesn't have a move. I mean, you can do this, but you connect the pawns. This is attacked. Let's say you defend. And all you can really do is push queenside pawns while black slowly squashes you like a bug, threatens mate. So let's say you do take to alleviate the pressure. What to do? Just keep pushing pawns. Eventually, you get mated. Something like this. What a crushing game. 29 moves. Some games just inspire you, right? When you see a move you've just never seen. I've never seen anyone play this. I've seen the ideas in the exchange variation slightly later on. But okay, I've not seen an immediate queen f6. but it's so aggressive, so much fun to play. If knight c3, knight g7, and away you go. Game carries on. It's not that bad for black. Carries some real venom. Very interesting position. Thanks very much for watching. Have a look at the video on screen if you want some more epic chess, and I hope to see you again soon. Cheers.